My best friend called me a loser in front of everyone at my birthday party because I was still single. But she didn't know I just signed a six-figure job offer. Now she's blowing up my phone begging for a referral. Too late, babe. It happened at Unicorn, a kitschy carnival-themed bar in Seattle's Capitol Hill where I was celebrating my 29th birthday. Neon arcade games flashed around us and sugary cocktails flowed. I was surrounded by a dozen friends, laughter, and the buzz of a great night until Jess, my best friend of 10 years, decided to give a birthday toast. Jess clinked her beer bottle to get everyone's attention and slung her arm around my shoulders. "Let's all toast to Sarah," she announced. I grinned, cheeks warm from alcohol and happiness. But then her tone turned sly. "Can you believe Sarah is 29 and still single?" Jess shouted, feigning shock. A few people chuckled nervously. My stomach dropped. "No Tinder success, no boyfriend, not even a date to her own birthday," she continued, eyes glinting with mischief. My face went hot. This wasn't playful teasing, it felt like a spotlight on my deepest insecurity. I forced a weak laugh. "Okay, Jess, very funny," I mumbled, praying she'd stop. She didn't. Jess raised her drink higher. "Seriously, somebody find this girl a man. We can't let her stay the only single loser in our group." Time froze. Loser. That word rang out, painfully loud. The surrounding bar noise seemed to fade as an awkward silence fell over our table. My friends stared at their drinks or shot me sympathetic looks. I even heard a muted wow from someone. I stepped out from under Jess's arm, my hands shaking. "What the hell, Jess?" I said, voice low and quivering. She rolled her eyes with a tipsy grin. "Oh, come on, babe. I'm joking." "Some joke," my friend Devin muttered. A lump was rising in my throat. I was fighting back tears and the urge to either scream or run. My birthday had just become an ordeal. I grabbed my purse off the chair. "I'm done," I hissed, my vision blurring. Jess's smile vanished. She reached out as I started to turn. "Wait, Sarah, I didn't mean it like." I yanked my arm away, a tear finally escaping down my cheek. "Don't," I snapped, voice cracking. "Just, don't. A real friend wouldn't do that." With that, I bolted. I shouldered past a knot of people near the exit, my heart pounding, humiliation and hurt crashing over me in waves. Behind me I could hear Jess calling, "Sarah, wait. I'm sorry." But I didn't look back. The cool night air hit my wet cheeks outside on the sidewalk. I gulped in a breath, choking on a sob. My hands trembled as I fumbled for my phone to call a ride. In a matter of minutes, Jess had destroyed my birthday and maybe our friendship, too. And the cruel irony? She had no idea that earlier that day I'd received and accepted a six-figure job offer, the kind of news we should have been celebrating. She called me a loser without even knowing how much I was actually winning. I woke up the next morning with a raw throat and puffy eyes. Last night's scene replayed on a loop in my mind, the laughter dying, Jess's smirk as she uttered loser, and the stunned faces of my friends. I felt the humiliation all over again. My phone sat on the nightstand, buzzing occasionally. I had silenced it after the 10th notification from Jess. Now I picked it up warily and opened our message thread. She had indeed been blowing up my phone. 1:34 a.m. "Sarah, I'm so sorry. Please talk to me." 1:36 a.m. I was drunk and stupid. I didn't mean anything I said. You know I love you. 8:15 a.m. Please let me explain. I feel like a horrible friend. 10:20 a.m. You have every right to be mad. I hate myself for last night. 10:22 a.m. Congrats on the new job. Maybe we can chat about it? I could really use a referral. Please. I stared at that last text, my mouth falling open. Was she for real? My best friend had humiliated me, and now less than 12 hours later, she was looking to me for a favor to help her get a job at the company I'd just been hired to. It was galling. "Too late, babe," I thought bitterly, tossing the phone aside. Anger and hurt swirled inside me. I'd never felt so betrayed. And truthfully, this blow-up had been a long time coming. Jess had a habit of using me as a punchline, especially about my love life. I always laughed it off to keep the peace, she was my best friend, after all. But those little digs had piled up over the years, and last night she finally went for the jugular. It was the final straw. Sure, Jess had her own issues. She'd lost her job a month ago and was struggling. Maybe seeing me thriving, new job, birthday party, all of it stirred up her insecurities. I could understand that intellectually, but it didn't excuse a thing. We'd been friends since we were 18, and I never imagined she could be so cruel to me. My phone buzzed again, another call from Jess. I ignored it. Then a text, "Can we please talk? I know I don't deserve it, but I want to apologize." I sat on my couch, phone in hand, heart aching. Finally, I gave in and texted back, "Fine, I'll listen." Almost immediately, my screen lit up with her incoming call. I closed my eyes, braced myself, and answered. Sarah, came a timid voice on the other end. Jess sounded hesitant, like she wasn't sure I'd really pick up. I'm here, I said flatly. She exhaled in relief. Oh my God. Thank you for answering. Her voice caught, and I realized she was already crying. I'm so sorry. I know I screwed up so bad. I don't even know where to begin. I didn't reply, letting her continue. I wanted to hear her say it. I was completely out of line last night, Jess babbled, words tumbling out between sniffles. I was drunk and trying to be funny, but I crossed a line. I hurt you. I humiliated you. God, I feel like the worst friend in the world. You didn't deserve any of that. You're not a loser, not at all. I was being a jealous idiot. I'm so sorry, Sarah. Her voice broke on my name. Despite myself, I felt a pang of pain hearing her sound so shattered. I'd seen Jess cry maybe twice in 10 years, but I hardened my heart. A sincere apology didn't erase the pain overnight. You really hurt me, Jess, I said quietly, gripping the phone. My words came out steadier than I expected. You humiliated me. In front of everyone. On my birthday, of all days. I know, she whispered. I hate myself for it. I swear I didn't mean any of it. I was just, I don't even know, being stupid and insecure. I bit my lip. You made me feel like nothing. Do you get that? I do, she pleaded. And I will never forgive myself for it. I don't expect you to forgive me easily either. She paused, then continued in a small voice, I want to make it right, if I can. Somehow. I let out a bitter laugh before I could stop it. Make it right? How? You can't unsay what you said. She started sobbing on the line. I know, but I need you to know that I didn't mean it. I was lashing out because I felt like a mess. You have this amazing new job and you seem so happy, and I've been falling apart. I guess I was jealous. But that's my problem, not yours. Instead of dealing with it, I took it out on you in that awful way. I am so sorry. I stayed silent. My anger was ebbing a little now, leaving a raw ache behind. This was my best friend, and she sounded genuinely remorseful and broken. But a simple sorry wouldn't magically fix things. After a long pause, I spoke, voice cold. What I don't understand is how you thought any of that was okay. Do you really think so little of me? Or was hurting me somehow fun for you? No, I think the world of you, she said, anguished. I was just being a jerk. A stupid, thoughtless jerk. I've been feeling like such a failure, and seeing you succeed I don't know, it brought out the worst in me. But I never truly thought you were a loser, Sarah. I was just projecting my own crap onto you. I believed her. I did. But it didn't erase the image of her smirking as she called me that horrible word. You can't take it back, I said, my voice hard. What's said is said. I know, she murmured. And I'll regret it forever. We fell quiet. My heart felt heavy and hollow. Part of me wanted to tell her I'd be okay and we'd get past this, because that's what we always did. But another part of me was still so hurt. Then I remembered that infuriating text. You know what else really gets me? I said suddenly, a new edge to my voice. After all that, you had the nerve to ask me for a referral. Seriously. She inhaled sharply. Sarah, I wasn't trying to. Is that why you're so eager to apologize? So I'll help you get a job at my company? I snapped. The hurt was flaring back into anger. No, I mean, I was going to ask you before everything went down, but now I know I have no right, she said in a rush. I mentioned it because I'm desperate, honestly. I lost my job and I have an interview at Amazon on Friday. I was hoping you might put in a good word, but after what I did, I realize how ridiculous it is to even ask. I'm not trying to use you. I know I don't deserve your help. Her voice broke into a sob again. Forget I even asked. I'm sorry. I'm just so scared about that interview, and she stopped, crying too hard to continue. I clenched my jaw. This was the crux of it. Jess was terrified and insecure, and in her panic she had thrown me under the bus. Now she wanted me to throw her a lifeline. Once upon a time, I would have. In a heartbeat. But that was before she shattered my trust. Yeah, you're right, I said icily. You don't deserve my help. She went quiet except for a shaky intake of breath. I have always been there for you, Jess, I continued, my voice rising. Through every breakup, every family drama, every time you needed anything, I have had your back. And the one time I needed you to be in my corner, you publicly tore me down. And now you think sorry will make me forget it ever happened and help you out? That's not how this works. I don't think that, she whispered. I was hoping, but I know I messed everything up. Damn right you did, I said, anger crackling in my chest. What you did was beyond messed up. You called me a loser, Jess. You made me feel like garbage in front of everyone. What kind of friend does that? She didn't answer, just cried softly. I realized I was practically shouting by the end. I took a moment to breathe, trying to steady the tremble in my hands. After a moment, she spoke between sobs. I know I don't deserve it, but do you think someday you could forgive me? I don't want to lose you. My throat tightened. Even after all this, hearing that made my chest ache. I truly didn't know the answer. Maybe someday, but not today. I need time, I managed. I can't just forgive you right now. I honestly don't know if I ever can. Not for this. A long, painful silence stretched. Finally, I spoke again, voice flat and final. As for that referral, no, I'm not going to help you with the job. Jess didn't argue or beg. She just cried quietly. I think that hurt more than if she'd gotten angry. I'm sorry, she choked out. I closed my eyes. I had nothing left to say. I'd said my piece, and she'd heard it. Take care, Jess, I said softly. She sniffled. You too. For a split second, I almost told her everything would be alright eventually. But I stopped myself. That wasn't my responsibility right now. I pulled the phone away from my ear. Before I hit the red end call button, I whispered into the receiver, "Too late, babe." Click. I hung up, cutting off her faint, heartbroken goodbye. I set my phone down and sat in silence, my whole body trembling from the adrenaline and emotion. My heart hurt, but I also felt a strange sense of empowerment. I had finally stood up for myself. I wasn't anyone's loser.